So when you're talking about AI and ML, before we jump into what is governance, okay, we would like to understand what is AI and ML. I believe that should be the first thing, right? Instead of just jumping into the governance. So if you take a definition, okay, so AI is basically the one which making machines do things that normally require human intelligence. Let's say example, I am a human. So I am a human. Okay. I do a lot of thoughts. There's a lot of thoughts comes in my brain. And based on that, I used to do my analysis. I do my actions and all that. A lot of companies are using, okay, a lot of companies are using AI, which is called robotics, okay, automations, which replacing the human thoughts. So the way the human works, okay, the computer will also work in a similar fashion. Is it clear? So AI is like that only. So AI is like it's mimic the human thoughts. Okay. That's why you call definition is making machine do things that normally required human intelligence. So some examples of the AI is, can we say chat GPT is the AI for us? Can we say chat GPT is the AI for us? What you enter, you get a thoughts. Same like you think about same thing, right? So imagine teaching a robot do the task like, recognizing the faces, like when your phone unlock with your face. Okay, understanding your speech when you talk to a voice assistant, playing games like a chess robot that learned from the past. So that is called AI, like a human. But the question is that when I'm thinking like when the machine is think like a brain, when machine is think like a human, they need some data. How many agree with that? If I say there is a machine, okay, who going to, okay, think like me, okay, they need some data, and that data is called as a machine learning. Okay, that data is called as a machine learning. We say we learn from our experience. Same like artificial intelligence, which is called chat GPT and all that. Okay, they predict the new activities, they analyze the new activity based on the machine learning. So machine learning every day learns some new data. So if you take an example of human brain, so our brain are, you can say, made up of billions of interconnected neurons, right? And these neurons communicate with each other in a complex network. So AI is in a similar fashion. So in AI, the particular machine learning use artificial neural network, which is basically loosely modeled after this brain networks, and they use a group of multiple blocks to work together to create some value. So ChatGPT, when you enter something in ChatGPT, we get a response. How? Because they have a machine learning. So machine learning is a way to make the AI work. So machine learning is a method of achieving AI by letting the computer learn from the data. Same like as a people, we learn from experience. AI learn from the experience of machine learning. Is that clear? The basics are clear. So AI is like a smart tool that can solve problem or complete task without being old or every single step. And it is all about making machines smarter and more helpful in our daily life. One more example, I can say AI is just like a big idea, right? The robot, which can clean, cook, even chat with you. But there's a new dish comes in this world. Until unless their memory is not updated with that, can they able to cook the new food? No. So who bring new cooking materials to that particular robot? That is called ML. So ML is all about how the robot learn each task. It watches video of cleaning or try the method of unit together. So that is basically called AI and ML. One more important thing, please understand here. AI was introduced to meet our objective. Okay. But you need to also understand this fact. In reality, AI introduced to meet their objectives. Example, ChatGPT. Okay. So you enter something in the ChatGPT. Do you really get a relevant, right information? 100%? I don't think so. Because here the ChatGPT works according to his objective. Okay. Second, we take an example of Kim or DeepSeeks. They are revealing a lot of PI data. Is it working as per organization objective? No, they are working as per their objective. And this is where we're introducing the AI governance to make sure the AI work according to our objective. Okay. So we have a different definition of AI depending upon how the vendor sell the AI. So example, AI solution provider. Can we say ChatGPT is the AI solution provider? The one who sell the AI, right? Narendra, I'm saying that AI is basically introduced to meet our objective, right, Narendra? But currently, the AIs which we have, they used to meet their objective. See, ChatGPT was introduced to meet their objective, to respond to the customer, but that objective doesn't meet my objective, right? So we are introducing the governance, AI governance, to make sure AI align with my objective. So when we talking about the definition, okay, so AI solution providers we have, like ChatGPT is the company who sell the AI. Okay, then the company who going to use the AI, that is called organization. It refers to the companies or entity who adopt or deploy AI solution in their operations. Agree? Amazon is the organization. My company is the organization who using AI for our activity. But there is a one category called as individual. What is the example of individual? Can we say we as an individual? See, I am a freelancer. Let's take an example. You are a freelancer. You are not associated with any company. So can we say you are using ChatGPT for your own productivity? So can we say that is an individual? So one thing always remember, when you talking about AI governance, when we talking about AI policy, when we talking about AI strategy, we need to consider these three things in your mind. Are you creating a strategy as a solution provider? Are you creating a strategy for an organization, or are you creating strategy from an individual point of view? That I'm going to cover in the later stage. Is it clear? So AI can be AI basically here map with a solution provider, the one who sell the AI, the organization who consume the AI, and the individual who regularly use AI. And we need to have a different policies and different initiatives according to these three categories. Now, when we talking about AI, how many type of AI we have? So what are the type of AI we have? Actually, if you see, AI is only two types. One is called as a capability and one is called as a functionality. Overall, AI is divided into two parts. AI system is classified based on two dimensions. Okay, one is called as a capability. Is it visible? Capability is all about how closely, okay, how closely it mimic human. Am I clear? Hello? Capability mean it determine the scope. Okay, like what is the capability? Like how effectively it can be think like a human. How AI mimic the human intelligence. That is called capability. Is it clear? So you decide now what robot should ask the question, right? You decide what question the robot should be asked to us. So that is called as a capability. Second is called as a functionality. Functionality determine the operations. Okay, functionality define how the AI going to be used. Are we going to use AI for the medical imaging, or are we using? Okay, so we have a two type of AI. One is called as a based on capability we classify AI, how it going to be think, and what he going to be think. You know, what kind of information they're going to be store. So that is basically called as a AI capability, AI functionality. Functionality mean purpose or cognitive ability. Okay, so we're going to discuss first that. So when we're talking about based on a functionality, okay, functionality basically mean is how they're going to store. So here we have a narrow AI, JI, and super AI. Okay. Hope it is not boring, right, guys? I'm just because I want to make sure I should cover basics first before I jump into the AI governance. Okay. So we have a three type of AI. One is called as a narrow AI. Word itself say, right, which is designed for a specific task. Designed for a specific task. So I work for suppose so I want to build a voice assistant. Do you know you are using narrow AI in your day-to-day activity? There is a one human you basically trust more than your family member. That is called Siri, Alexa, right? They are the only people in this world who follow your advice after marriage, right? Or before marriage. So they are called as a narrow AI. Okay. They are designed for a specific task. Okay, or set of tasks like voice assistants like Siri, Alexa, Tesla Autopilot. These are called narrow AI. And you will be surprised to know that in the information security, the most of the AI solutions, okay, on the SOC side, they use narrow AI only, like spam filters and all that. Second is called as a general AI. General AI is like a hypothetical AI that actually perform any intellectual task a human can do. Example, this is under research, okay, but you can see soon from China, very soon. So it's under research, and hypothetical scenario is like, you know, a system which can diagnose diseases, the system which can write code, the system who can teach math equally well like a human. That is called as general AI. A lot of companies already obtain the patent for that. And third is called a super AI, which is a future that surpass all the human intelligence, theoretical, futuristic, but the system can solve the complex problem beyond human. Any example? If I tell you there is a AI introduced which can cure your aging, you enter the prompt, I want to be like a Arnold, make my body like a Arnold. So super AI can do that. Do you know that? So that is the future. Is it clear? Super AI. So super AI is the one which surpassed the human intelligence in all the aspects. Okay. So who introduced super AI in India? And Rajnikant, robot movie, Chitti. So he's like a robot, super AI. Okay, the system that can solve complex problem can go beyond the human capacity, which can cure aging and all that. So you can see this particular super AI in the healthcare sector, in the financial sectors very soon. Now, next is basically called as a based on the capability. Based on the capability, how advanced the AI system is. Okay, like think, learn, and interact. I repeat again. One is we discuss about functionality. Functionality is clear, right? Focus on the purpose and role. Okay, which is designed for how they're going to work and all that. But now, what is the level of capability we have? What is the level of humanity they will follow? Okay, it talk about how advanced, okay, the AI system in terms of ability to think, learn, and interact. Okay, so when we talking about your based on a capability, we're going to cover that, Sarika, don't worry. So one is called as a reactive machine. Reactive machines is the example of you only respond to the current inputs, cannot learn from the store part experience. So any example of reactive machine? So we have an example like IBM Deep Blue. They have a chess AI or using a historical data to IBM Deep Blue. That is basically the chat AI we have, chess AI we have. So that is basically called reactive machine. Okay, no memory. What you enter, you will get a reply. Second is called as a limited memory. Limited memory, basically, you can take example of a historical data for a decision making. Okay, can we say Tesla and everything self-driving car come under limited memory? Limited memory. They use a historical data for a decision making, but they basically lack in deep understanding or the full autonomy. Third is basically called as a theory of mind, which basically envision the AI that understand the emotions, intentions, and mental state of human. That is called theory of mind. That is basically the future. So in development, AI is capable for understand the empathy of that, and according to that they will react. And last is basically called as a self-aware AI, where it is again a theoretical AI, hypothetical AI. It's not developed, but it is more about own conscious and self-awareness. So next is basically called as a AI tech stack. So let me have a quick summary. Okay. So if you see Ayan, they are basically using the combination of limited. So this is based on a capability. So here we have two things, as a capability and functionality, right? We have a capability and functionality. So capability AI, this is the AI scope. Okay. And functionality define how AI use. So chat GPT and all are other combination with capability and functionality. Now, when we're talking about building a AI, so AI basically required four important components. I repeat again, AI required four important components: data, infrastructure, algorithm, and platform. So four important things required to build the AI. The first is called data. From a unit of economics, perspective, okay, maximum companies spend maximum money on which particular vertical according to AI. In AI, we have a four important thing: data, algorithm, platform, infrastructure. So what do you think? What is the area where we maximum spend money? So one is basically called data. How many agree? Without data, can you survive? Agree? So we are spending a lot of money on data. Agree? Then we're spending money on the infrastructure. Okay. And then we're spending money on the algorithm. Okay. That something is basically there. I repeat again, when we're talking about data, we're talking about infra, we have an algorithm, we have platform. The primary is basically we okay to spend more money on data, because without data, infra will work. Mukesh, I don't think so. Okay. If we have a choice, infra can be outsourced also to third party. So that can be decided, but data cannot be decided like that, right? So first is basically called as a data. We want to cover, Abdul, one by one. So data is basically where we collecting a data. The first step is collection. We're going to cover each and every point, Alan. Collection of the data. Okay. Cleaning of the data. Pre-processing of the data. And storage of the data. My simple question for everyone, do you involve the data governance policy here? Do you involve the data governance policy here? Definitely. Now you understood how the AI governance come. Without having understanding of AI tech stack, you can't do anything. So it is a foundation of any AI stack, because I'm sure everyone agree with me, without having an understanding of data, you can't decide what algorithm going to be support. Okay, what infrastructure is going to be used and platform. Let's take example, there's a set of data we have, which can only run in a particular platform. I cannot simply first onboard the infra, then platform, then data. No, I need to understand what kind of a data I'm going to process. Okay, then I will see what platform it support. And then I will finalize the infrastructure in which I will run the algorithm and everything. Okay, so first step is data, where the foundation of AI stack will be there, which required the substantial amount of data we learn for the decision-making process. Second is called as an algorithm. Algorithm mean your model, the important component of AI. Your 90% of AI governance will become on the algorithm. Algorithm is just like a logic by which the data will be processed, define the parameter, and provide the data. So algorithm is just like a mathematical model which is developed to help the AI system, you can say, to extract the pattern insight from the data. You can say it's like a recipe. You give me instruction, make a dal makhni, make a shahi paneer, make a pizza. So algorithm use a set of recipes and all that. It use a set of instructions and telling you exactly what ingredients to be used, how much ingredients is required for the each step, and make it for the functions. The third is basically called as an infrastructure. Infrastructure include your hardware, your software, hardware, software, virtualizations and everything. And last is basically called as a platform. Platform is like a framework and tool required to create and implement the application. Okay, so example like we called as a TensorFlow, we talk about scikit-learn, we talk about PyTorch, containing libraries, programming language, and everything. Is this clear, team? So what data is required? We have to be very cautious about this data. Based on that, we can decide what algorithm can support the data, what platform we have to write for the algorithm, and then based on that, we can finalize the infrastructure. This is the 4 important tech stack we have for the AI. I just give the example, Sarika. The example of this is TensorFlow. We're using TensorFlow, right? Have you heard about TensorFlow or PyTorch? These are the example of the programming language that we are using to build this AI. Okay. Example of infrastructure, Alan, is like a hypervisor, hardware, RAM, CPU. Okay. Now, next important thing, we need to understand the importance of AI. Okay. Because GPU is a processor to support, right, Sarika? That's the reason. Now, let's understand the application of AI. Okay. Application of AI across the various industry. So we taking one example is how AI used in industry. So example like we are using in e-commerce. What do you think? How AI is used in a e-commerce? Okay. Amazon is the best example. YouTube is the best example. Netflix is the best example. Analyze your behavior and according to that, provide the data patterns and everything. Can we say? So if you take example of application of AI across various industry, retail e-commerce demand most important. Let's say example, we analyze the customer behavior. So in the night, you're speaking to your partner, I want this. And next day you see the ads. In the night, you're having a discussion with the partner, we need this. So they predict this particular thing. AI is involved. But what they're collecting, your data. So Amazon AI powered recommendation engine. That's the one thing. Second is your inventory management, which predicting the demand, optimize inventory level. Walmart is using AI driven inventory management system. Chatbots, which handle the customer inquiries. Okay. Then we have a visual search. Visual search is basically like enabling customer search for product using image. Right now, Google is using, right? You upload the image, or Amazon. In Amazon, they have option. Click the image and search in the Amazon store bar. So this is where the AI is used in the retail and e-commerce. Now, another area where we're talking about is cyber security. AI was introduced to automate your standardization. When you're talking about InfoSec, in information security, we have a 2 type of jobs. Please understand this carefully. Okay. One is a skill where you're making a mastery of the thought process. You get paid for your thought process. Is it visible what I'm writing? Sorry for my doctor writing. And second, in the infosec, we get paid for our product management. I can bet on this that, okay, product-based AI or AI which is introduced for product can be replaced the human, no doubt. Okay, but for the thought process, AI cannot be replaced. Because today also, if the AI need to be fine-tuned and everything, they need a whose intervention? They need a whose intervention? Human. Is it clear? So today, if I'm doing a risk assessment in GRC, AI can only do the risk assessment based on the predefined profile. What about the new threats? That will be enhanced, hunt by the human only. Is it clear? So AI was introduced to automate the uniformity. Okay, AI was not able to replace the complexities. For the complexities, human involvement is required. So when we started a session, remember we discussed about two type of AI, capability and functionality. So capability refer to what? Ability to think like a human, and functionality is basically our specific task. So in both cases, human is basically involved. That's why we say capability is what the AI can do. Functionality is what the AI does do. There's a difference. What data they have. So for both the information, human is involved. So when we talking about requirement of the AI in cyber, example for threat detections. Okay. So it identify unusual pattern indicating cyber attack. So that's why we have a SOC team who hunt for IO and IOC. Okay. But what about the new IO IOC? There we need a thought process. Based on the thought process only, analyze the pattern, they feed the data. Agree? So we have some example like dark trace. They have a AI-based threat detection. But again, who will update the database about the dark trace, or who update the capability engine? By the human only. Then we have a fraud prevention, monitor and flagging suspicious transactions. But data cleansing will be done by human for that. Okay. Incident response, automate response to security breaches. But my question is that can the AI able to handle all kind of incidents? No. We cannot have 100% true positive in management in the SOC. Agree? We need a human to enhance the data cleansing and all that. Vulnerability assessment, identify weak point. Can they address zero-day attack? My question is that can they address zero-day attack? No, that understand patterns come from the AI. So some activities can be repetitive, but not completely. So this is how AI is used in the cyber. Is this clear? So question is how AI work. Now please understand this carefully, okay? In the AI, we have three things: input, okay, model plus algorithm, and called as a output. Okay. So you feed input. Do you need a human here? Definitely. We need to provide the machine with some examples. This model will use its logic and everything. This model basically identify the pattern, relationship in the pattern. Okay. Identify the image, and based on that, predict the output. AI governance, 90% we required here only, because we need to control what input I need into this model, and we need to control what output it can able to produce for the system. Understood? Let's take a very basic example. When we talking about small kid mean age of 5 or 6. Okay, small kid, age of 5 or 6. Whatever you say to him in front of kid, if you abuse anyone, I repeat, in front of your kid, if you abuse anyone, they will learn that. They have a model, they have a brain, they will learn that, and they react. This is where you're introducing a parenting governance. Where to say what? This is how the governance come into the picture. Governance was introduced to improve this model. Agree? Governance was introduced to improve the model, how to think. Governance was introduced how to control the input, what kind of a data we need to put. Is it okay? Can you feed the PI data? Can you feed someone's personal pictures? No. Do you want that? So today what happened is you log into Chat GPT and you enter, I want Akshay Kumar pictures. If Chat GPT generating Akshay Kumar some unrestricted pictures, is it a good thing or bad thing? It's a bad thing. It's a compliance issue. So I want to control first what is the input I need in the AI. For that, we have a data governance policy, data privacy policy, data retention policy, data collection policy. I want to understand how the model is going to process the information. For that, we have a model policy. And then I want to control the output, what kind of an output it will generate. So that is why we say the first step is data input, which provide the machine with the examples. Okay. Second is called as a learning phase, where the machine identify pattern relationship in the data. And third is called as a prediction. Machine apply what it learned. Here, the biggest mistake happen is bias. Here in the prediction, lot of trouble comes. Let's say example is I said tomorrow will be rain, predict yes, but reality is there is a sunshine. So in prediction also it's a concern. So recently what happened in one of the cases, they have entered the prompt in AI, I am feeling depression and all that. So based on the data point of what he had, he said you should do suicide. So what is the prediction is basically harmful or non-harmful. So I need to control the prediction also. For that, we need a governance. And last, what is the improvement, which is basically learning. So we have a different type of models. Okay, model is the backbone of AI. Your entire governance of 90% spent on the model only. Okay, if you want to take a screenshot, you can take a screenshot. So we have a different type of model, black box. Now, what is black box? Okay, so there is a vendor called Microsoft who provide you a software. He explained about my software work like this and all that, but we will not reveal the code. They are best because tomorrow anything happened to Microsoft, they will take the accountability. Same like Chat GPT, same like other vendors who offer AI, they don't reveal the model. They just, but they are best because they did a lot of money on the research and everything. Okay, so that model is called as a black box. Transparency level low, performance is high because they spend huge amount of money on that. So can we say Chat GPT is a perfect example black box? They will tell you the data, but they will never tell you how they basically process and everything. That is called as a black box AI. High accurate, no doubt, because they're spending huge amount of money on the performance. But disadvantage is that opaque, hard to trust, debug. Is it clear? Like there is a medical AI diagnose the disease without explaining why. So that is called as a black box. But some companies, they build their internal model, how to think. That is called white box, which is fully transparent, easy to understand, less accurate for complex tasks. But because we define the data, right? Let's say example, there is a loan approval system is there. Okay. So they're having a clear rule. If income is less than $50, approve. If the income is more than 70. So in your company also, okay, your manager is a AI only. For 10 months, he will be act like a white box. Okay, don't worry, you had a great achievement and all that. But in the month of March, it become a black box. Okay, he will give an increment, but without any justification. Is it clear? So we have a same thing here. When we talking about black box and white box, it work in a similar fashion. Is it clear? So black box mean zero AI. Okay. Okay. And white box is basically you have a complete information. But problem is that it required a lot of fine tuning. That is why nowadays there is a demand for called as a XAI. What is the full form of XAI? Explainable AI. A tool to explain the black box. Okay. Is it possible for you to do end-to-end audit of the cloud provider? Suppose you decided to move data in the cloud. Okay. Can they provide you end-to-end visibility? For us, cloud is a black box, but they're providing you audit report, SOC report. They're providing you the VAPT report. They're providing you testing report, which give the insight about this. So this give the visibility about how the black box is working. And that is called as an explainable AI. Is it clear? A tool to explain black box. And this is where the GRC role come into the picture. Your role first to learn AI model, understand how to audit, understand the predictions values and everything so that you can able to do the audit and provide the independent viewpoint about this model. Is it clear? So explainable AI is about the tool, a process to explain how the black box model work. We use one called lime and sharp. Okay. So it add transparency to the complex model. Let's take an example. I introduce a AI model. I say, no, I cannot explain why. But now under the pressure, now we have a NIST base, we have a EU AI Act, which is made mandate. You need to explain. Okay, we introduced new AI from a China. What is that? DeepSeek. Initially, they have said, okay, we will not deploy the models and all that. Now they are open source. So here, what happened? Their closed source become open source. Okay, so advantage is that it add transparency to the complex system. But again, still the cons is does not simplify the model itself. So you can highlight the keywords in the neural network, which is used to classify the text. So that is basically called XAI. And last is called hybrid, which is a combination of both. So the question is, as a AI consultant, what is your thought process? You have to choose based on need. Use black box for the cutting edge task, white box to simplify the transparency, and XSI to explain the black box and hybrid for balance. So now there is a new concept we introduce is a Gen AI. We call Gen Z, right? So now the new concept is basically called as a Gen AI. Any example of Gen AI? So when we're talking about the Gen AI, okay, ChatGPT is the best example of Gen AI. Now I have seen a lot of people get confused that Prab, what is ChatGPT? AI, is it AI, ML? So generative AI is a subset of AI that create a original content, what they claim. That's why if you see in LinkedIn in last 1 year, you see so many scholars, right? Whenever you find this kind of a whenever you find this kind of a text or demystify word, it means it's a ChatGPT content. So generative AI is a subset of AI, okay, that create a original content in response to the user prompt. Is it clear? And it use advanced machine learning like GPT-3, which is part of their model, Dell AI, to generate an image to mimic the real world. Is it clear? So your traditional AI is basically used only for analyze data, task specific, and supervised learning. Supervised learning, they have a predefined labels, and from that only they can collect. Now, what is supervised learning and one is called unsupervised learning? Let me explain you. These are part of the machine learning methodology. That is not added in this particular task, but I thought let me discuss that. So we have we have a three type of learning methods. One is called machine learning. One is called supervised, unsupervised, multi, and all that. So when I'm guiding my kid, when I'm guiding one kid, okay, this is called black, this is called white. Okay, so that is called supervised. One is basically without label prediction and do the analysis. That is called as a unsupervised. So which one is faster? Supervised. Which one basically take time? Unsupervised. Is it clear? So your generative AI, they go beyond the things. Is it clear? Okay. And then we have a use cases like content creation, creativity, or here the traditional AI using a predefined label, and based on that they correct the data. So in the AI, the most important word we use is LLM. See, when we talking about LLM, okay, LLM is a specialized subset of generative AI. Agree? That leverage a machine learning technique to process generate human-like text. How many agree? I repeat again, LLM are the specialized subset of Gen AI that leverage the machine learning technique to process generate human-like text. After today, I'm sure you will not have any doubt about the LLM. That's why I bring both statement here. If you can see the statement, LLM are AI system. So first confusion, LLM is a part of AI, AI is a part of LLM. Where is the role of ML? So LLM are AI. Okay, they perform a task required the human like intelligence, like writing essay, translating language and all that. LLM, but question is how they do that. So LLM use a machine learning. Is it clear? LLM is a use machine learning, which is called deep learning and reinforced learning to learn from the data and generate the text. Is it clear? And any example of LLM here, which we use in everyday life? ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is the LLM built using ML, which having a transformer architecture that generate conversational text. It fall under the JI and it's part of broader AI ecosystem. So basics are clear. What is transformer? I don't want to go in detail because then it will be a different topic. But hey, we are here for the AI governance. I thought let's first discuss the basics. So now AI in ML is clear to everyone. AI and ML is clear to everyone. Okay. Now we're going to we're going to discuss the actual thing. We have some concerns with the use of AI ML. Okay. The first is that bias, fairness, data privacy, lack of transparency, and hallucinations and inaccuracy. Have you seen this movie called Rajnikant, the robot? So this guy built a robot, and the robot basically start having a feeling for the girlfriend of Chitti. Is it clear? So that is called hallucination. Okay. So if he had a AI governance, if he attended this webinar, after that, I'm sure that okay, he can build a better robot, right? So first is called as a bias. 90% of the in AI, the challenge which company facing is bias and fairness. Now, what is bias and fairness? So AI system, when we're talking about, okay, they offer biases from the data they train on. Example, racial, gender, socio-economic biases. So in the past, what happened is there is a algorithm which is called hiring algorithm. So they might be favoring a man over the woman if they train on the historical past data. Okay, so if you notice in last 20 years, Okay, the ecosystem of the company got changed. Initially, see, I'm not telling the things, I'm telling based on a data. If you compare 20, 25 years back, 60% or 70% men's are working and 40% women's are not working. Women's are working. So now what happened? They use the past data, and based on that, they're predicting the current. What do you think? Does it backfire? Definitely. Second is facial recognition. The tool may misidentify people of color due to the limited training data. So that's why the biases can perpetuate and discriminate the groups and erode the trust. So I will give you an example of that. How? So I have one case study. Okay. Have you heard about the Amazon case study about the bias? So in 2015, it's a 2015 case. Okay. In 2015, okay, what happened is Amazon discovered that AI powered recruiting tool. You know, ATS screening CV and all that. So in the ATS, they add the AI. Now, what happened in 2015? Amazon has discovered that AI powered recruiting tool, what they're using, recruitment tool they're using, it was very biased against the women. So company has developing the system since 2014. Okay, since 2014 they built that to automate the resume screening process. But what happened is they found AI was not rating candidate fairly and showed a clear bias against the female applicant. And that bias stem based on a historical data which is used to train the model. And you will be surprised to know that they were using a past 10-year data. So the data which they have in the AI, it was a last 10-year period data. So you can imagine. So even any CV got screened and all that, it even went so far to penalize the resume that include the word called woman, such as woman chess club captain and all that. And this basically demonstrate how AI system can intentionally or unintentionally can perpetuate into the existing societal biases. Is it clear? When you trained on the historical data. So this case study highlight the need of how to control the AI system, and that is why there is a need for governance. Is it clear? Second is case study. We had a Google photo. I don't know whether you heard about this. So in 2015, the Google photo image labeling the algorithm misclassified photo of a black people as a gorilla. And then what happened is this bias. Okay, okay, exactly. So the bias, this incident reveal a clear racial bias in the algorithm, which is likely due to the lack of diverse training data. And what was the impact? Google issued apology and worked to fix the issue, but the incident served the reminder of importance of addressing the AI bias. So is the basics are clear with this case study? What is the concern about the bias and fairness? Second concern, second important risk we have in the AI is called data privacy and security. Okay. So AI system rely on the vast amount of personal data. Now there is a one principle we use in data privacy. What is the most important principle of data privacy? What is the best way to protect yourself from any kind of liabilities from a data privacy point of view? The answer is data minimization. Data minimization, because more data you collect, more accountability comes to you. Agree? So there is a one company in India who give you more calls than your family members. Okay, more than your family members, which is called Bajaj. Okay, Bajaj Allianz in the night, in the morning, they're more concerned, even the weekend. Just kidding, okay? If any from Bajaj Allianz, don't take it personally, just an example I gave, okay? So sorry, my emotions came in the session, sorry. So here what happened is, when we're talking about the data minimization, so what happened is, InfoSec train planning one webinar, not seminar, webinar. We need a email address, agree? But do I need a house address? Do I need a phone number? Do I need your Aadhaar card to conduct a webinar? The answer is no. So here I need to have a limitation of data collection. Is it clear? So that is something is important. Okay. So when you're dealing with AI, chat GPT and all that, when you dealing with data privacy, there is a possibility you can disclose some PI information to other user. Possible? You enter the chat GPT prompt, reveal this. So they might reveal someone has PI data, right? So data privacy security is the most important thing. So we have to control what kind of a data we need to produce. Okay. There is a possibility of unauthorized access or misuse. Recently, you heard about DeepSeek issue. The model revealed a lot of sensitive information. There is no transparency about how data is collected. An individual lose control over the information because organization face legal risk. So that is the second important risk. Third is called lack of transparency. Okay, so AI system, when we're talking about, they act as a black box, which is making harder to understand how they arrive in the decision. Example, there's a medical AI recommend a treatment without explaining reasoning. Okay, so here what happened, users and regulators struggle to trust or audit the AI system, especially in the high stakes like healthcare and all that. Is it clear? So lack of transparency is there. And last is called as a hallucinations and inaccuracy. Okay, so one guy put in a chat GPT, what is the, uh, um he enters some information. Okay, how is the life after marriage? So he said, marriage, after marriage, the life is amazing, beautiful, and all that. You will be the next level and all that. And based on that, he get married. Now, he got something different feeling. So sometime here, what happen is that inaccurate data impact the decision. So here, the integrity of a data play a very important role. So here, what happened? Chat GPT produce a confident but incorrect output. You have seen a lot of prompt on the Chat GPT. Na? Have you seen the Three Idiots movie? Three Idiots movie. So there is a one Chatur, okay, who read the speech. So whatever they provide by speech, he read that. Same thing happen in Google, in Chat GPT. Whatever you enter, copy paste, same in the LinkedIn. You see the patterns when people post a content. Okay, people post a content. If you see the big paragraph, it is a Chat GPT content. Is it clear? So sometimes it is not accurate data. So that is called as a hallucination and inaccuracy. So legal AI, we need to generate a faulty wrong advice and leading to the costly errors. Forget about that. We are following Google Map, na? That is also AI for us. They guide us how to go from right to left, left to right, whatever. But sometimes it lead to the wrong information. So these are the major risk. Okay, these are the major risk we have in the AI. Now, what is the impact? Discrimination, amplification of the inequality, and more important, reduce the trust. And this is where, to build the trust, we need a trustworthy AI and responsible AI. Is it clear? Let's have a quick recap. When we started a session, we discussed about AI ML. Then we discussed about AI type. So what are the AI types we discussed? Need a reply in the chat box, because this is not another webinar, which is a one side. So we discuss about two type of AI, capability based AI and functionality based AI. Then we discuss about AI tech stack, where we discuss about data, algorithm, infrastructure, and platform. Agree? Then we discuss about application of AI across the various industries. And then we discuss about AI ML work. Then we discuss about the AI models. So that something is another example we have. Is it clear? And then we discuss about LLM, which is used in Chat GPT. And now we are in a stage of trustworthy AI and responsible AI. So what is the meaning of trustworthy AI? Okay, what is the meaning of trust? Okay, so what is basically trustworthy? What is the meaning of trust? Trust, blind faith. And in which condition you trust? When you know that person. If you have a on-prem data, and if you have a data in the cloud, in which condition you will have a more trust? Sinoj, I'm asking about from a only trust on-prem. Why? Because you have a more control. But if the cloud provider giving you same level of thing, can you trust? Yes. So when you're talking about responsible AI, is all about ethical development of the AI. Is it clear? Ethical development of AI. And by doing the ethical development of AI, what we're building? Trustworthy AI. I have seen lot of people get confused here. So listen carefully. Responsible AI is the input. Okay. Responsible AI is the input. I repeat again, Sinos, listen carefully. Responsible AI is all about the ethical development of AI. Is it clear, team? And trustworthy AI is all about the outcome of the AI. We discuss about bias issues. We discuss about transparency issues. We discuss about the fairness issues. Is it clear? So what we need, I want to trust that, right? So to trust that, I need to introduce some kind of a activity. So responsible AI is all about we should responsibly do this activity. Why? so I can able to build the trust in the market. I can proudly say that people know me for my CISSP, my primary CISSP content and my YouTube. I think in this batch, in this session, 30-40% came through my name or by YouTube content and all that, because I responsibly deliver the right content. Agree? And that responsibly I deliver the content that build the trust in the market. How many agree with that? So this is how it works. So responsible AI is all about ethical development of AI. We're going to discuss in detail, okay? And trustworthy AI is about the outcome, the result of applying the responsible principle to the systems. So technically these concepts are related to the AI models, creations, training, security, and complexity of the algorithm. Is it clear? Is it clear? You can trust only the black box, okay, if you have evidence they are responsibly working. Is it clear? So risks are there which can be addressed with the help of building a trustworthy AI system. So when we're talking about responsible AI, so second question, the exam. So here what happened, we have two things. So responsible AI and trustworthy AI. Okay, so what is the meaning? So when we're talking about responsible AI is the umbrella. Okay, responsible AI is the umbrella and trustworthy AI is a part of umbrella. First one clear? I'll explain you. So when we're talking about responsible AI is a broader framework that govern the ethical, legal, and societal implication of AI development. That is the expectation. We have an expectation from the product. Is it clear? It ensure AI align with the human values, protect the rights, and mitigate the risk. And that is only possible then I can able to assess them. Okay, based on some controls. The control related to the trustworthy AI. So trustworthy AI focus on ensuring the AI systems are reliable, transparent, free from harmful biases. If they trust, automatically it is responsible. So if I take an example, uh, there is a we have a transparent AI diagnostic tool, AI based diagnostic tool in healthcare. Okay, that basically explain the reasoning to the doctor and patients. Okay, they fostering the trust in the environment. So company using a AI for hiring that no one should, not only avoid the biases, but also complies with all the anti-discriminatory law and engage the ethics to review the policy. So this is called responsible. So here what happened? My requirement was be transparent. That is called responsible. And for that, I build the control, reliable, transparent, free from harmful biases. Is it clear? The first point. So in summary, you can say trustworthy AI is focused on the technical characteristics of AI system that make it reliable and deserving the user trust. So one more important thing you need to understand here is when before you developing the AI system, okay, someone is drawing, please avoid that, guys. When you basically building, okay, when you building any kind of when you're developing any kind of AI, before developing any kind of AI, example, so you building a AI for a uh, uh, system for a loan approval. Let's take example, you're building a system for a loan approval. You're building a system for a loan approval. So you need to carefully consider the potential biases in the data used for fair outcome. How many agree? I repeat again, you're building an AI for a loan approval. So before you're developing the AI system for a loan approval, you will consider multiple parameters, like example, potential biases in the data, and we need to make sure we have a fair outcome. So for that, what happen is you consider multiple things. It should be work ethically. Okay, it should consider factors like fairness, transparency, accountability, potentiality, or social impact. So what is the meaning of this? This is called your responsible AI. And then you implement, build things around the trustworthy AI. Is it clear? So now what happened? You're implementing a explainable AI model so the user can understand why loan was approved or why loan was rejected. Is it clear? Expectation was it should be fair outcome. That is a responsible AI. And then what you did, you build a system which is transparent, which is free from harmful biases and provide the complete evidence. So now understood what is the meaning of responsible AI, which is called RAGI, and trustworthy AI. We yet to discuss AI governance. Okay, this is a principle I'm talking about. And one thing always remember, without trustworthy AI, you cannot build a successful AI product in 2025 at least. It is a backbone. Because if you cannot able to demonstrate how your AI works, you cannot succeed in the market. This basically drive the accountability in everything. Now, another important thing we're talking about is responsible AI. So responsible AI is a practice. So can responsible AI give reasoning about AI output? That is why right now this DeepSeek and everything is giving an example, giving a reason for that. And there's a one more called Kimi. They're giving detailed explanation. Perplexity, they're giving you detailed descriptions. Is it clear? So now what happened is we're talking about responsible AI. So responsible AI is a practice of developing and using AI system in a way it prioritizes the ethics, fairness, safety, and societal goods, and it ensure the AI benefit people with minimizing the harm. So we have some key principles for the AI. Okay, when I say you should be responsible AI, this is the example we have. So first is called, these are principles. Okay, if you say you should always speak truth, never lie. Can we say it's a principle? I'm saying that you should always speak truth. Okay, never lie. These are the principles. How can you demonstrate? How can you provide the evidence? By showing your testimonies, evidence, and all that. So that testimony evidence is the example of trustworthiness. Understood? So the first is called fairness and bias mitigation. So AI system should be treat everyone fairly. That is a minimum expectation. If it treat fairly, it is a responsible AI. So AI system here must be treat all individually equally. So example is there's a AI model which ensure loan applications are evaluated based on the financial criteria, not on the factor like gender, race, and location. But you have to understand the fact there are so many things happening in the industry, which actually approving the loans and everything based on gender, race, location. How many agree? Visa got rejected because he's from this country, or visa got accepted because of this country. How many experience this kind of a thing? We have to understand the fact in a fairness and bias. Same in the pricing also in e-commerce. Second is basically called transparency and explainability. Remember one thing. Okay. Transparency, explainability is a very important thing. It is a base of entire AI. You can ignore everything, but you cannot ignore the transparency. If you're able to achieve transparency and explainability, it means you achieve all the principle of AI. How many agree? If the people should able to understand how AI system arrive at decision, does it meet your fairness criteria? Does it meet your security privacy criteria? Does it meet your accountability criteria? Does it meet your human centric criteria? How many agree? Transparency mean you should able to understand how AI is basically arrive at the decision. And this basically build the trust and allow for oversight. How? So AI system is there. It should be understandable. Clear documentation should be there. You should provide the explanation of all the AI decisions, especially in the high stake scenarios. So when loan application is rejected, the system providing a clear reason. Like this is because of insufficient credit history. Okay. So in this case, the responsible AI is like the application get the vague rejections without understanding why. The third is called privacy security. Privacy security is protecting a user data. If you entering your PHI data with this trust that they will not going to use that. You're uploading your some PHI information with this trust, they will not going to misuse that. Agree? So that is basically called as a privacy security. Okay, so AI system should encrypt the data. If you're uploading any PI data, it should process in a secure manner. Okay, they should have a robust data protection. They should not misuse the data. Example in the scenario is AI system use encrypted data for processing to ensure that personal data like income, spending habit can be anonymized. But if I don't have a responsible AI, they don't store or they store, but they reveal to the unauthorized people. What you're building, it should be reliable. It should be safety. Is it clear? Like there is a loan approval. It has been tested to avoid all the glitches. Remember, initially ChatGPT was introduced in the evening time and all that. It has a lot of downtime. I experienced that when I'm using for some activities. Okay, it was very slow. So it is not reliable. Is it clear? So rigorous testing need to be done. You need to implement the fail safe. Fail safe basically mean according to the fail mode, it should provide the data. And second last is called as accountability. Accountability is like they have to take the accountability responsibility of AI system. They should establish the clear oversight, responsibility, how they're collecting data. I'll give an example of that. So there's a bank who monitor the AI system for errors and take immediate action if customer is wrongfully denied a loan. Is it clear? If customer is wrongfully denied a loan. So we define the roles and responsibility for AI development deployment. We creating a mechanism for addressing issues, or we basically have a harm which is caused by the AI system. So if bank monitor the AI system for errors, it take immediate action if customer is wrongfully denied the loan. So that is basically called accountability. And last is called as the human centric. So what is human centric? So AI should enhance the human decision making, not to replace. That is why if you notice in ChatGPT or any AI they mention, the data which is generated by the AI, do not blindly trust that. When you're building an AI, you need to give this kind of a disclaimer that do not trust the random output data. You have to verify yourself. So AI should enhance the human decision making process, not to replace. Okay, can I use a ChatGPT to explain me uh, how to do the operations? Will they give me 100% step-by-step process? No. So AI should enhance the human well-being and decision making. Okay, not to replace. So AI in healthcare. Okay, they are assisting doctor in diagnose rather than replacing them, right? So AI system will provide the recommendation to the loan officers also, but leave the final decision to them. And if you want to check that, the best example is using Chat GPT for stock analysis. They give you everything. They give you everything. But on the last, they mention the statement is do your own research also. So these are the key principles for the response. If this meet, your AI is responsible AI. But to achieve this responsible AI, like fairness, transparency, and all that, we need some controls. We need some essential building block to make the AI responsible. And that is only possible if your AI is trustworthy. And these are the called as a 7 important blocks according to NIST to build the AI trustworthiness. This is called as a responsible AI. It means this is called as a obedient children. But to become this obedient, we need some building blocks, and these are the 7 building blocks. So first is called as a validity and reliability. And if time permit, I have a control checklist which I follow for my business. Let me show you that also. Okay. So I have built the controls. Okay, because I'm part of one of the project. So first is basically called as a validity and reliability. What do you mean by validity and reliability? Is both are same or different? Validity is all about the confirmation through some provision of evidence and everything. Is it clear? So validity is like you validate everything. That is called as a validity. Is it clear? Intended use. And reliability is defined as the same, but ability of an item to perform required without any failure. So can we say reliability deal with availability? Availability, like it is reliable, it is available whenever it required. Can we say validity mean validate? So when I say validity, so validity is all about validating all the data. So whatever the data you process and everything, it should be validate. It is like a confirmation. Is it clear? Through the provision of objective evidence, which required for a specific intended use, right? So that is called validity. Any example? You enter something, you're building something, you validate. Until unless you don't validate, okay. Example 1 plus 1 is 1 plus 1 is 2. Do we need to validate how it produced 2? Yes. Second is called as a reliability. It must be available. Okay, so we have ability of an item to perform the required without any failure. Okay, so that is called a reliability. But my question is that validity and reliability, is it depending upon one important thing called accuracy? It's not a NIST standard, it's a NIST guideline. Pradeep, I will share. Okay, accuracy and robustness. This is a bit off the topic, but I want you to understand this. Okay, accuracy and robustness help you to build the validity and reliability. Because if the data is not accurate, okay, can you validate? If your infrastructure is not robust, can you able to offer reliable services? And my second question for everyone is validity and reliability. Do I need to test on a regular basis? Is it a one-time activity or it should be do on a continuous level? It should be done on a continuous. This is where the role of the AI GRC expert comes, who ensure right data has been processed. Here the role of AI SOC comes. Here the role of the L1 and L2 guys comes. Because what they're going to do, they monitor the data just to make sure it is accurate. Then only we can validate. They do the regular PT to make sure that infrastructure should be robust. Second is called as a safety. Okay, I enter the prompt and it giving me some kind of advice about life threatening and all that. So safety is basically mean human life, health, property, or environment. One day what happened, one guy basically enter, I have a headache, what should I have it? The chat GPT generate the prompt called Jack Daniel. Okay, he has a headache and he enter the headache and all that depression, and the AI generate the outcome is called, please have a Jack Daniel. Okay, or 75 power. So we should not have some kind of a things. Okay, so here what happen is when we talking about AI, okay, it should produce the right information. So when we talking about the safety, when we talking about the functions and everything, okay, so that something is part of the function. Third is basically called as a security. What is mean security? It means it should protect against data poisoning, because what you enter in the chat GPT, what you enter in Google, it should not redirect to something else. Agree? So make sure whatever the data you processing and all that, okay, it should be processed in a secure manner and it should be recovered from any kind of a disruption. I'll give you a best example of that. Okay. Okay. So facial recognition system using encryption to prevent spoofing. Facial recognition system is using encryption to prevent spoofing. Possible. So common security example here, we have a data poisoning, exfiltration of models, extracting the property. So these are basically part of a security and resiliency. Is it clear? Next, we have to make sure we have a proper accountability and transparency. Accountability, transparency mean without transparency, can we have accountability? I repeat again, without transparency, can you have accountability? Transparency reflect the extent to which information about AI system and its output will be available. And by promoting the higher level of understanding, transparency increase the confidence of the AI system. That's why maximum controls we have around the transparency, explainability, and interoperability. If you're talking about AI governance, maximum controls you have around the transparency, explainability, and interpretability. Is it clear? And there's a reason for that. Having all these are correlated. Having all these are correlated. So now we're talking about the explainability. So explainability is referred to the, you can say the representation of how the mechanism, talk about how the AI system operate. And interoperability is basically talk about the output, the context and everything. Is it clear? So when you're talking models and all that, they're primarily depending upon the interpretability. Okay, how they interpret that. I repeat again, explainability. Okay, explainability refer to the representation of a mechanism. Okay, underline AI system operations and all that. Whereas the interpretability refer to the meaning of AI system output in the context of their design, function, and operate. Is it clear? In layman term, you can say, now listen carefully. In layman, you can say transparency we have first. Because we have a transparency, then we have a explainability. Because we have a explainability, that's why we're able to have a interpretability. And we have a interpretability, that's why we have accountability. Is it clear? Because transparency talk about what happened. Is it clear? Transparency talk about what happened. Explainability talk about how happened, how the decisions was made in the system. And interpretability talk about why a decision was made by the system. With this concept understood, the thin line difference. Transparency, what happened. Explainability, how a decision was made in the system. And interpretability, talk about why a decision was made by the system and meaning of context. So can we say this is the base of any trustworthiness of AI, which drive the responsible AI? If you see the DeepSeek, they give, before generating an output, it giving you the complete information from what is the source we have. That's called transparency. And then they have an internal logic about the explainability. They never reveal the interpretability. That's a problem. And by all this thing, it builds the trust. The next is called as a privacy. Privacy means you need to protect the data. In GDPR, okay, new acts, they're talking about how to use the data. So we have to make sure we comply our AI system with privacy. And finally, we have a fairness and mitigation. So there is a, can I show you a template, the control checklist? So here what happened is, you can see validity. What is the control objective? Ensure the model produce accurate. What is the control we are using? stress testing, continuous performance monitoring, version control. And what are the examples we have? Use staging environment, employ real-time monitoring dashboard, and drift detection. I'm planning to launch one course in which I'm going to discuss about data drift and everything. Then for the safety, control objectives minimize the risk of harm and all that. Risk assessment need to be done safe mode and clear escalation procedures. Is it clear? And here we have a responsible stakeholders for that. Then we have a security and resiliency, which protect the AI pipeline. So security model. So here we have a security team will be involved. Security model, disaster recovery testing, plans and everything. So we're using a tools there. And then we have a accountability transparency. Okay, model registry and everything. Then explanatory. We're talking about sharp and language. So sharp and harm language we are using. Okay, which providing an explanation about how the risk decision has been taken. Then privacy, data minimizations and everything. And finally, we have a fairness where we have a fair detection tool. So we are using a Fairlane tool here. Fairlane ANSV 360 tools we have and perform the audits. And these are the respective people we have. So this is how you can basically build a controls around AI trustworthiness. How many of you have seen this first time? This kind of a control framework? This is called as a control framework for trustworthiness AI. Now, why the responsible AI matter? Mitigate the risk of reduced bias, discriminations, data breaches. That something is there. Second is weekend compliance. That's something we have. Is it clear? Build the trust. That's something we can do. And last is societal goods. So ensure the AI, ensure the undeserved controls and all that. Now we are moving to the important topic, which is called AI governance. But again, why responsible AI is critical? Okay, but before that, I want to discuss one example here. But okay, we'll discuss that example later. So why responsible AI is critical? Let's take example. AI system used for hiring an employee. Okay, without responsible AI, the system use bias, historical data, favoring male candidate and everything. Is it clear? Over the female candidate. That is basically called as a responsible AI. Without responsible AI. Now, according to you, so you have learned so much. Need your response in chat box. What is the what is the evidence of the responsible AI? This is the without responsible. Okay, the system use bias, historical data, favoring males candidate and everything. So discrimination is discrimination lawsuit and loss of public trust. Agree? Now, with the help of responsible AI, developer audit the training data for bias and implement the fairness check. And system basically ensure the equal opportunity for all the candidate. And what has happened here is improve the diversity, trust, and compliance. So there's a small gift for everyone. Okay, if you are in the session till the last, I'm going to discuss about the how to create a live AI strategy and policy. So do not miss till this last. Is it clear? Because I put a lot of effort in creating AI strategy also. That is part of this gift session. Is it clear? And how to write AI policy. So now we're going to discuss about AI governance. AI governance. So what is AI governance? Governance is called as a set of operation. Can we say governance is a set of operation? No, that will not be shared with Kunal because it's part of my consulting document. Okay. I wish agenda of this webinar is to train you how to write the policies. Understood? Yeah, you will get a guys. You will get a CP once you finish the session. You have to fill the feedback. You will get a CP points. Is it clear? And certificate. Now let's discuss about the AI governance. How many of you here always get confused AI governance with responsible AI and explainable AI? How many of you here always get confused? We call it as a responsible AI. So AI governance is a set of operations. Can we say? Like in India, we build the government. We have a ministers basically creating a law and orders for the people. So by which we can able to maintain the humanity, trustworthiness, equality and all that. Agree? Same like when AI was introduced, it was introduced to meet our objective, but sometimes AI start working on their own objectives. Agree? AI start working on their objective. So if you take a same example of Chitti, Rajnikant sir has built a robot for his objective. But after some period of time, his objectives got changed and he bringing some emotions and he start feeling about for Aishwarya Rai. Agree? So we have to make sure we should control the AI. So AI governance is a set of operation. Okay, AI governance is a set of operation to govern the AI, to manage the AI. It should not create any kind of an issues. Is it clear? So AI governance is a system of rules, practice, process, technological tool that employed to ensure organization used to align AI technology with the organization strategy. But before that, I want to discuss one important thing. Yes, you can use this CISSP for CISSP also. I want to discuss a bit off the topic, but it's very important. Okay, listen carefully. We'll discuss, Vipin. We just started now. See, when we're talking about organization, okay, now listen carefully. When we're talking about organization, okay, every organization start with the vision and mission. Agree? Every organization is basically start with the vision and mission. Vision is something we basically use. Okay, vision is something we use, and so vision is basically what we have, and mission is basically the path on which we follow the things. If I say my vision is to train 20,000 people, so this is a message we publish. Mission is the path on which we work, and then we basically create a strategy. Why management want AI to be in their organization? Only three things: profit, increase of profit, increase of benefit, and decrease of the risk of loss. Increase of profit, increase of benefit, and decrease of risk. Your customer trust, everything will become under the benefit and everything. So here what happen is we have a one governance which is called as a corporate governance. Corporate governance. Corporate governance means senior management and board of directors. Okay, they are involved in creating a strategy, everything. Is it clear? So they have an expectation from the AI. Okay, they have an expectation from the AI that it should be work in a form of responsible AI. Team clear? So corporate governance connect the societal implication of organization AI and use a social responsibility and stakeholder to place AI governance practice. Then they want productivity and all that. Then we introduce the IT strategy. So next is basically called as a IT strategy. The IT strategy basically outline the mechanism by which organization govern the IT. Agree? Strategy want AI, but how to use AI, how to build AI. So that will be come under the IT governance, which is led by the CIO. Agree, team? Which outline the mechanism by which organization govern the IT. It highlight the alignment with the organization strategy. Clear? Then we introduce the data governance strategy to talk about how to optimize data, how the AI algorithm, AI system process data. So they introduce their strategy. So they are working together to build the AI solution. And this is the same diagram we had discussed here. Can you see that? AI governance and data governance, which is controlled by the IT governance. And IT governance follow the direction of corporate governance. And security will become parallelly in all the process, which is called security governance. So management said, we want automation, we want productivity. That is the intent of corporate governance. IT governance said what? Okay, we will understand emotions, and according to that, we will create our automations, cloud computations, and everything. And then we introduce the AI governance, who introduce their own strategies and all that, how to align the corporate with the IT, and data governance creating their strategy. So that's how the things works. Okay. So in AI governance, the first important, so AI governance is nothing. It is a process and practice by which you implement the AI in a more controlled environment. Okay. So we have a 5-point or blueprint for AI, governing AI. Implement and build government-led AI safety frameworks, required safety breaks. We can control the output, develop the broader legal regulatory framework based on a technology, promote the transparency, and pursue any kind of a public and private partnership. This is an example I have taken from Microsoft. But this is what I'm going to cover. No one actually give attention to that. Narendra, which one are you talking about? Repeat, please. I'm saying here, AI governance, data governance, management, IT governance, right, Narendra? IT governance follow the direction of corporate governance, and security governance run parallelly in all the things. Is it clear? IT governance, their goal is to ensure they can able to AI produce a desirable behavior. Is it clear? So when we're talking about building AI, we need to answer three things. Is it possible you can have an on-prem data center for our AI? which is going to process huge amount of data and all that? The answer is no. Okay. First, if you're looking for cost-effective AI to be host, you'll definitely go for cloud. Agree? How many agree? That's why nowadays we have a AI-based services, right? So first thing is that know your cloud. Second, know your customer. Third, know your content. So when you're building AI governance, so that is why we decided to go for cloud. So we're going to ask ourselves, know your cloud, we need a cloud report, know your customer, why they need AI, what kind of a content they need. So data governance will be involved. So this is how you basically building the AI governance. Is it clear? Now this is the very, very important side. Very important. Now when we talking about AI model, okay, the first step, understand the business objective. One of the business objective was increase the automation, increase the AI in my recruitment process. Clear? Hello, team. My objective is increase or improve my recruitment. That is one of the business objective. What do you think from the cybersecurity point of view, a business objective? Detect and respond to the threats as per the risk appetite. How many agree? Third business objective is that reduce the fraud. So when you're building a AI system, the first step is understand the business objective. Clear? Can we say when our business objective is clear, does it help me to gather the and prepare the data? So my question is, my business objective, decide, gather and prepare data. How many agree? If I'm doing a business in Europe, according to GDPR, I need to collect. If I'm doing a business in India, so can we say when you gather and prepare the data, do you need to involve the data governance policy here? And based on that, okay, we follow this particular process. Okay, so we have a train model, we evaluate the model. Oh, sorry, first we design the model, we train the model, and we evaluate. So your 90% of governance here becomes. Question is what to design. Okay, how to train and what to evaluate. Is it clear? And based on that, we update. And if whatever the learning we have, we will verify whether it met the business objective. And this is how your governance works. Now, according to you in this diagram, which is basically the key pointer, according to you, if you basically go by the process and all that, according to you, which is a key pointer here? The most important part is business objective, because until unless we don't know the business objectives and all that, okay, we cannot able to track things. So that's a very important part. That's why I call define business objectives are very important. Based on that, you gather the data, and based on that, you create a model. This is called model. Okay, this is called model. Design the model, develop the model, evaluate the model, and then we have a version and deploy, and then we have production. You need AI governance end to end in all the things, end to end all the things. That something is a part of a requirement. Okay, so when we're talking about this modeling of AI model and all that, okay, so we have a three type of involvement here. Now listen carefully. Before you deploying AI solution, you are basically advised to determine how much influence the human have in the process. Tomorrow, when you work in the AI system, you have to be see this all this. The first is called human in the loop. How many of you heard this first time? So that according to that, I will cover this. Before deploying the AI solution, okay, let's understand that. See, when you are in a design stage of AI, okay, we need to see some factors. The first is called human in the loop. Human in the loop mean human oversight is active. Okay, the people with the people who retaining a full control. So AI provide the recommendation or input to the human, and human is the one who driving the process. That is called human in the loop. Is it clear? I repeat again, before deploying AI solution, organization are advised to determine how much influence the human have in the process. Which process? The previous process that we discussed. So first example of decision making is called as a, so we have a three level of oversight of the human. The first oversight is called as a human in the loop. Human in the loop in this model, human oversight, and with the people retaining a full control, the AI provide the recommendation or input to the human driving the process. Second is called as a human out of the loop. In this model, there's no human oversight. AI system has a full control without the option of human. Is it a concern? Then why we have this? We have this when we have a pre-trained data. And the third is called as a human over the loop. Human over the loop involved the human over to the set of extent, okay, where the human is work in a supervisory role. And it has the ability to control in the face of unexpected event. Is it clear? This is where the security comes. An example, when we're using AI in assisting the medical diagnosis, product recommendation, or GPS navigation system. Today, the major AIs are using the human over loop, which can decide, control, and everything. And it is completely depending upon the trustworthiness. So what is the difference between the RAI and AI governance? So RAI basically define what we need, and AI governance define how to do that. So example like RAI say that responsible AI say that you should be fairness, you should have a transparency, you have accountability. We want AI to be fair. So company have a RAI policy which state AI system must avoid biases in a hiring decision. But AI governance talk about the process to enforce the RAI principle. Is it clear? So AI governance is the action plan. Responsible artificial intelligence, they say this is what is the quality of our RAI. And AI governance talk about the process and procedure to make that as a responsible AI. So when we say this kid is a very good kid, he's appreciating everyone, he's saying thanks to everyone, he wishing everyone. Oh, good, because it is coming from parenting governance. So parenting governance was good. That is why that kid was able to handle and care things properly. So sequence is very simple. First, we have a values. Okay, ethical principle, a responsible AI. Like I need to be a fairness, human right, privacy. These are the fundamental beliefs. Based on that, we have a AI governance. Okay, you want fairness, we need a framework. You need a fairness, we need a policy. Oversight. By this, I can able to meet that. And then I can able to build a trustworthy AI system. With this example clear, all three. So responsible AI is a practice, tool, implementation. AI governance provide the blueprint and direction. And responsible AI with the combination that provide the execution. So trustworthy AI is the outcome of the AI. One more example. Healthcare AI system must prioritize patient safety and avoid bias diagnosis. This is a principle. Okay. So we introduce a governance. Okay, do audit of the model. Make sure we should have explanatory tools and make sure we comply with the HIPAA. So AI governance is a how and responsible is the outcome. And overall outcome is called as a trustworthy AI. So when we're talking about AI governance, we have some components, essential components of our AI governance. Okay, accountability. Okay, the first is called as accountability. Can you suggest some AI risk assessment method? Yeah, ISO 4201 is not a AI risk assessment method. NIST we have. Abdul, we're going to cover that, okay, if time permit. So when we're talking about essential component of AI governance, it means if I have an AI governance framework, this is what I might need. So first is called as accountability. If you want to build any kind of a governance system, it starts with the responsibility. As a mom, it is my responsibility. This as a dad, okay, we have this responsibility. So the first is part is called as a accountability. Okay, so it's very important. We need to establish the individual and position in the organization who make a critical decisions. Agree? So that is basically called as a accountability. Clear? Okay, we have to explain about do and don't. Second is called as a operating model. Can we say it's a bread and butter of AI operating model? The framework for how the AI governance is basically operate, validations and everything. Third is basically called as a people culture. How important is a people culture? AI governance is ultimately achieved by people who working together to ensure that all AI system operate effectively. I'll give you the best example of that. Uh, we are using Chat GPT in the company. We are using Chat GPT in the company. Okay. Can we start uploading all data in Chat GPT? Start uploading company trade secrets, everything. So we conducted awareness training. Now you can see in the future, there's a definitely need for awareness training for AI usage. And through that awareness training, we build the culture. Can we say most important component is people and culture? You have one of the good policy, you have one of the good framework, you have one of the good model. But one stupidity of the human can basically backfire the AI governance. How many agree with that? So that is why people and culture is very important. And that come with the regular assessment and everything. Then we need a good policies. We need a risk management. We need a dedicated framework to assess the model. Okay. Do you know any standard for assessing the model? We can use this internally. Okay. Do you know any model, AI model for risk assessment, model for assessment? Have you heard about 25059? 25059. 25059. 42119. No, that's called lack of awareness. So these are some of the models we have for the AI safety. Is it clear? These are the models for the quality, because we cannot assess the model only based on the pure risk assessment. We also need to assess the model how safely it producing the data. Safety also matter. Okay, so we need a proper models assessment frameworks. Okay, technologies tools that we are using in AI, supporting infrastructure, monitoring, stakeholder engagement. These are basically the necessary component we have to build the AI governance. So now we're going to cover how the governance is going to be operate. What you can see in this diagram, I need your 5 minutes of attention on this topic. Okay, it's very, very important. Okay, if you understand this, you understand the entire AI governance. Okay, see, overall, organization AI governance is split into four categories: technology, stakeholder, regulation, and process. Okay, let's take an example. Every organization has a vision. Based on the vision, we have a mission. Based on the mission, we have an organization strategy. But my question is that, let's take example, I'm doing a business in India and I'm doing a business in banking sector. What is the name of a regulation we need to comply if I'm doing a business in the banking sector? RBI. If I'm doing a business in US in a public limited and all that, so I have to comply with SEC, Security Exchange Commissions and all that, or SOX. Agree? So moral of the story is that regulation is the one which drive the organization. Agree? So based on regulation, the corporate governance, which was senior management and expectation everyone has, is people, process, technology should operate. Agree? Okay. So when we talk in governance, it control the technology, it control the context, regulation, but how? How all this thing can be controlled with the help of oversight, audit, and impact assessment. Process used to comply regulation with the context of the stakeholder on technology. Hope you find this diagram useful. So let's understand. So when we're talking about technology, we have a technology like AI. So AI governance here, who can tackle data, algorithm, transparency in your AI system. It should be built as per the requirement. Stakeholder context, we have a regulators, professional bodies. So stakeholder context, when I say uh, external stakeholders, example of external stakeholders, can we say regulators, certification bodies, and internal is like a inter-organization team who shape AI governance culture and everything. Regulation, hard regulation, soft regulation. How many of you heard this first time? Hard and soft. Hard regulation and soft regulation. Don't worry, this is just a game of word. It's how complex word you basically use, you get more value in the market. So when we're talking about hard and soft, hard regulation mean binding law. Hard regulation mean binding law, which ensure the baseline compliance. And soft regulations are called guideline, like standards, voluntary codes, and all that. Is it clear? And this all going to be assessed based on a process. How? By oversighting, auditing, and impact assessment. Basics are clear. So let's discuss one by one. So first is called data. We need a proper governance there. So AI system should learn and adapt based on a data. Agree? So transparency, explainability, we all required. Okay. And AI governance must provide the clear explanation how the data has been collected. They provide the clear explanation how the algorithm has been collecting processing data and how AI system using data. So verification and trustworthiness come based on data, based on oversight, auditing, and impact assessment. Second is called as a stakeholders. As I said, internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, we have government, professional bodies, and all that. Who define the guideline? Okay, Nitika, I'm going to cover that. And internal is basically like you have a inter-organization teams and all that. Now, why I'm talking about this? Because it's very important to take the input of everyone. It is very important to take all these inputs to have a contextual viewpoint. So that is a very important thing. We also need to have a socio-political context. Any example of socio-political context? Global variations. So AI system. So do you notice in a deep seek and all that, when you enter something about China and all that, they give some other information? Did you notice that? So that basically reflecting the cultural and socio-political context. So in India, the AI is different role. In China, it has a different role. Is it clear? So universal rights and ethical principles we need to adopt. And that's why you can see the OECD principle in most of the AI. The third is basically called as a regulations, which is called as a hard and raw. So hard regulations, EU AI Act for the EU only, not outside of EU, right, Nawaz? We also now introducing a Cyber Resilience Act 2030, which is also imparting the AI. Now next is called as a regulation. First is called as a hard regulation. Hard regulation is GDPR, anti-discrimination law. Okay, so these laws impose mandatory rule that we need to follow as a AI developer and user. So anti-discrimination law or GDPR in the EU is an example of hard regulation. So we have to make sure AI system should respect the legal boundaries. On the other side, soft regulations, we have like ISO, IEEE standards. Okay, explainable AI standards, which we are adopting to build the AI products. So that something is there. And last is called as a process where we have a oversight, auditing, and impact assessment. Remember, we discussed human in the loop, global oversight, society in the loop. So we increase the community with societal inputs and everything. So by doing a regular audits and everything, we can comply with the regulation, we ensure the stakeholder context, and provide the right technology to the customer. Because when we say oversight, when we say auditing, when we say impact assessment, let's take an impact assessment. So impact assessment evaluates social, ethical, legal consequences before we deploy the AI. Impact assessment include the privacy impact assessment, which focus on data protection and ensure the AI system comply with the privacy law. So all those things will become under this factor. And this is how the entire AI governance works. Hope this slide is useful. So what is the top layer? Hard law, which influence your AI system. These factors basically shape the organization approach to AI governance. Principal guidelines, stakeholder pressure, that comes under the stakeholder alignment. This is where we're creating a corporate strategy. And then based on that, we implement where we have a AI system design. Okay, we have an algorithm design and we do the risk impact analysis. Can we say like that maximum involvement we should do in this stage? Whatever the controls we need to introduce, we should introduce in this stage: AI system design, algorithm design, and risk and impact systems. This is your middle layer. Okay, strategic alignment, value alignment is a middle layer. Okay, but the most important layer is AI system design, algorithm design, and risk impact assessment. So how many agree we should be very active in this stage? Because if you don't be active in this stage, it's a problem. So this is your environmental, this is your organization, and this is basically your operational governance. This is your operational governance. And that's why we have a continuous feedback. Okay, here the internal auditor comes, AI auditors, who providing independent reports to the board and all that, just to make sure are we aligned with the strategy and all that. So we are using a lot of tools, okay, in the AI. Okay, we are using a lot of tools in AI. So like example for the data governance tool, okay, because we need a data catalog and all that. We're using a tool for model governance, which is called MLOps. Okay, MLOps is just like a model tracking. Have you heard about this called Kubeflow or AWS SageMaker and all that? So these are basically part of that. Okay. Then we have a bias and fairness tools. Bias and fairness tools we are using to detect the, we have a AI fairness 360 fair learn. All are basically the AIs. Okay. Then we have a security advisory testing. This is where the offensive come into the picture. And finally, we have a compliance and documentation. So these are the different kind of tools and technology we have to support the governance. So when we're talking about building AI strategy, okay. So what is the meaning of strategy? Strategy is a comprehensive plan, or you can say strategy is a plan of action to achieve the long-term goal and objective. Can we say? Strategy is the comprehensive plan of action which is designed to achieve a long-term goal. Agree? Whereas the policy refer to a set of guidelines. Can we say strategy outline what need to be achieved and how to get there, and policy define the rules and the boundary. So always remember one thing, okay? Every sequence wise, if you see, the first step is always is the context. So here what happened is, when you're talking about tools that we are using, we are using different kind of a tools in the AI governance. So first is called as a data catalog, master data management, data quality platforms. Is it clear? So these are the tools we required. Now what they do, they provide the central repository for data sources, metadata, and all the lineage. But when you're talking about here, there we have to introduce a data governance practice. Okay, like GDPR and everything. Then we have a second is called as a model governance, which is part of your MLOps platform. It is like a heart and brain of AI. So what they do, they track the model versions, the parameter and performance metrics. Here the auditor roles comes in model registry and MLOps pipeline. In layman term, you can say MLOps pipeline are nothing. Have you heard about called Kubeflow or AWS SageMaker or pipelines, which automate the model trainings, validation, deployment, monitoring in DevOps, right? And when I say model registry is just like your ML flow and model registry or Azure ML registry. So they are basically doing the standardization of process. They basically have a central repository for storing and managing models. Okay, from a governance point of view, model registry is very important. Okay, because it provides the control environment for model lifecycle, like enabling the traceability and controlling the access. Team clear? Third, we need a bias and fairness tools. How many agree? Do we need some kind of a tools to control the bias detections? Always remember one thing, whenever you work on AI, most important part, we use AI governance thing called as a AI fairness tool. AI fairness tool. AI fairness tool. AI fairness 360, a fair learn and all that. There's a lot of open source tools are there. What they do, they assess and mitigate bias in a training data based on some metrics, and they ensure ethical AI used by the system. Okay, and reduce the benefit. And another important thing, we adopt the AI framework. Have you heard about AI frameworks? I'm sure you heard about LIME, LIME, and SHARP. Have you heard about that? LIME and SHARP. It basically provide the local and global explanation of model prediction. If model produce any output, it talk about the prediction output. Okay, so it increase the transparency, trust, and all that from governance point of view. So it should be done as per the EU AI Act. Is it clear? Then we have a security advisory testing. This is basically where you have a red teamers and all that, which evaluate the model vulnerabilities, protect against the malicious exploitations. Is it clear? And then we have a secure deployment platforms like Dockers and Kubernetes for orchestration. Is it clear? And finally, we have a compliance and documentations like SharePoint, Power BI, okay, custom frameworks, spreadsheets. We are using this. So your internal auditors come here, compliance auditor come here, red teamers come here. Okay, GRC auditors comes in all the stages. Is it clear? So each and every component have their own governance viewpoint. So now we're going to discuss about how to build AI strategy. See, you can see a lot of companies moving their 90% of operations in on AI. How many agree? But it should be introduced in a systematic manner, right? Right. And for that, we create a first AI strategy. So AI strategy is a plan for incorporating AI into organization so that we can align with the AI support and all that. Let's take example, Amazon has decided they want to cut off the staff and they want AI to be used for the recruitment. Do they need to add in the part of strategy? Like what will the first year plan with AI? What should be the second year plan? What should be the third year plan? What should be the fourth year plan? A good strategy is the one which integrate with the business goals. Without business goal, the strategy will be ineffective. Second is roadmap for effective use. So if you take an example of a successful AI strategy, it act like a roadmap for the data enhanced supply chain operations and talent, because that give me the particular outcome. And most, it help you to guide the technical infrastructure. So now I'm going to discuss. Just for a second, observe this diagram. Okay. So if you can see this diagram, what is the first thing you can see in the diagram? AI strategy. That drives the AI plan. And then we have a AI ready. This activity is called as a AI readiness and AI foundation, which is part of a design step. If I don't spend due care and due diligence on this area, can we directly come to this? Can we backfire? Can we return back? The answer is no. So we have to spend maximum time on this area. Strategy, we define the plan and make the AI ready. And based on that, we introduce a process and practice. Okay, then we manage the AI and then we secure the AI. And make sure in this entire end-to-end process, we have to follow the responsible AI principle. We already covered responsible AI principle, remember? What is the definition of responsible AI? Must be fair, transparent, and all that. Is it clear? The difference between govern is called a set of direction. Okay, and management is all about executing the direction. So in layman term, Abdul, you can say this is the concept they have taken from Corbett. Okay, in Corbett we have a two functions: E, B, M. P, B, R, M. So EDM managed by board and PBRM managed by CIO, CISOs, AIO, artificial intelligence officers. Okay, Abdul, clear? Evaluate the need of market, evaluate the need of the regulatory, evaluate the need of the stakeholders. That is the evaluation. Then they're giving a direction to the CIO. CIO, CISO, AIO, plan, build, run, and monitor. Abdul, clear? That's why we say AI strategy, drive the AI plan, which prepare the AI to be ready. To do that, we govern the AI to produce the right output. We manage the AI so that we can able to secure the AI. We need to have a separate AI strategy, okay, which conclude the cybersecurity function. But cybersecurity cannot have a separate AI strategy. And future, you can see that only. Is this diagram clear? Mapping and assess AI risk and secure AI. Exactly, Nevas. So risk assessment will be start from govern AI only. Nevas, clear? Risk assessment start from the govern AI only. Okay. So before we build the AI, we have some factor to be considered. Okay, some homework need to be done. First, you need to be very clear about the business objective. You will be surprised to know that the reports by consulting firm like McKinsey and Deloitte, they give a proper emphasis that clear business objectives are critical for any AI initiatives. Because according to that business objective only, AI produce a respective output. Is it clear? Let's take example, McKinsey. So McKinsey has a research on a digital transformation. Okay, they have a research on digital transformation that how the AI can improve the productivity and all that. They're giving their viewpoint how the AI, okay, aligning the AI initiative with the overall business goals can reduce the cost, innovations, and customer experience enhancement. Is it clear? So that is basically part of a business objective. But can we simply randomly create any strategy? No, we have to do the gap assessment to understand what is the current technology capability we have. We have to assess the organization existing technology infrastructure. We need to ensure the infrastructure can support the AI application. We have to look for the infrastructure capacity. Example, cloud platform, storaging system, processing power, and all that. Business objective define the cost, and we will see is the cost justify as per the current technology capability, because we don't need to start from zero. Then we have to see, do we have a readily data available? Okay, that's something we need to see that, because data is the foundation of AI. So we have to ensure data is collected, it should be cleaned, it should be stored effectively. So we need to understand the quality, quantity, accessibility to data. Okay. Then ethics and compliance. What kind of ethics we need to follow? Do you know there is a one framework we call FACT, FACCT. FACT stands for fairness, accountability, transparency. So we have to make sure how the ethical implication of AI comes, how to comply with things, what kind of a talent is required, and what kind of a resource we have. This is where they hire the big four consultants to do that. So there's a 4-step for building an effective AI strategy. Define the problem. Unless your why is not clear, you can't build the AI. Why we introducing AI? You can't do anything. So define the problem and identify the opportunity. That's the first thing. Then consider your timeline. Any average AI transformation will take 5 years. At least 1 year to 5 years. Third, create a roadmap. And fourth, you build the thing. So we have a 3 things here: data strategy, algorithm strategy, and infrastructure strategy. Now, please, can I spend 2 minutes on this? Because this is the most important outcome. Listen carefully. Define the problem. What is the problem? The problem is we need a more people, but existing HR team cannot able to work. So I want an automation in the AI. Consider timeline in 6 months. Fine. Roadmap, step 1, step 2, step 3, whatever we have. And the roadmap defined based on these 3 pillars: data, algorithm, infrastructure. What is the first thing we need to understand? Data, because data is the fuel of AI engine. When you purchase any car, what is the first thing you will consider? The most important thing, I am looking for EV, I am looking for petrol, or I am looking for gas. Agree? It is also a factor. Okay, safety, mileage is there. Okay, same like when we're talking about data, data is the fuel of AI engine, right? Based on data only, we can decide the algorithm which support the data. And then we basically see the infrastructure which support the algorithm. So you need to consider the type of data you required. You are going to process the raw data. Does raw data demand more computation, or does the cleaned data demand more computation? Your computation demand more in raw data, clean data, raw data, because raw data need to be converted into clean. Is it clear? So access to relevant quality data is a key to unlock the benefit of AI. So start with the understanding whether your organization possess the necessary data in-house, or you need to acquire additional data for the solution. First step is clear. So if you get any kind of a scenario, understand the data strategy, because based on that only you build the AI. Second is algorithm. Algorithm is a heart of any AI application. And these are the mechanism for building a models that lead to the intelligence and developing. Now here, as per my experience, what I decide who will design the AI, why we developing, who will validate the AI model. So we required as per the project. And third, we called as the infrastructure strategy. Infrastructure strategy means implementing AI system required the suitable. Can I go for cloud? What is the impact? If I do on-prem, what is the impact? So when you're building an AI strategy, this is the content of the strategy. So how many of you seeing this first time AI strategy document? Your AI strategy document complete the executive summary, vision, mission, and everything. Then we talk about the governance, decision making body, risk management, compliance protocol. Then you talk about how you're going to manage the data. Then use cases, then technology, then workforce, ethics, roadmap, and monitoring. So these are the necessary pillar, necessary content required in the AI strategy. One thing you have to be very clear: until unless your AI strategy is not clean, is not verified, it is not simple, the management cannot implement that. So executive summary is very important. Governance talk about what is the decision making process you have, data strategy and everything. That's why I use one framework which is called as a dance studio framework. We start with vision, which is called ambition. Then we talk about asset. Asset is use cases, AI portfolio, and data sets. Then we talk about enablers to execute that, like human skills, privacy, and architecture. And then we talk about the DNA, data studio, and all that, organization, governance, leadership. So this is the backbone to drive everything. So let me show you one sample which I have created an AI strategic plan for our aspirants. So this is how we have created the table of content. You can see executive summary, a strategy need to integrate AI into business. The organization aim to automate many process. The AI study plans at a 5-year roadmap, everything. Then we talk about summary. Position Aspen Technology is a leader in AI. That is our vision. And we have talking about the timeline. First 1 year, establish data foundation, then scale successful point and achieve the full enterprise. And then outcome is transform the internal operations and at least 2 AI-based systems regulation. So always one thing, executive summary should talk about a vision, talk about timeline and strategic outcome. First step is clear. Then because you have to convey about AI, so you have to document the principles, definitions. What is the words you are using in strategy? AI definition, ML, automation, AI product, and all that. Then you have to document the AI guiding principles. Okay. Then you talk about your current capability, what you have. Mission is required. Pawan, I missed that. Okay. So data foundation, AI governance, and aspirants and automation. So where we are and what we need. And then we talk about the recommended future state. This is the future plan that we are building. And then we talk about so training recommendation is also important because upskilling is also important. Then we add the regulation compliance. If I'm doing a business in Europe, EU AI Act is there, GDPR is there. That's something we need to add. And then we talk about the audit trails and everything. And this is the use cases which I'm going to build from AI. Like data lake governance setup is required. Then we will have a pilot project, and then we have a skill building. Then we have to scale the product launch. We have advanced use cases. Then we have an enterprise ML ops. And then we have a customer facing product, like launch at least 2 AI driven products. And once on the year fifth, we have a maturity and continuous improvement. And this is the hope you find this strategy document useful. So this is not any theory program. This is something what we implemented. I'm teaching. So when you're writing a feedback, just mention, do you need this template? So I will share in the LinkedIn. So once you create a strategy, you need to execute strategy. So always remember, any kind of a program you're introducing, you need a policy first. Hey guys, every system must be protected with the password. Every system must be protected with the password. That is called, hey guys, every system must be protected with the password. That's called policy. That's called policy. Second question. Okay, he told me follow the policy called password. But what is a password? What is the size of password? That is called standard. 8 character. Define the uniformity. Third is basically called as a third is basically called as a procedure, step by step, to create a 8 character password. And then finally we have a guideline. So when you're building an AI policy, we consider 4 aspects, like ethical guideline principles. Is it important to starting with any policy, you need to have an ethical guideline? The guideline which talk about the AI governance and all that. Second is basically called, your policy should be aligned with the broader and strategic outcome. Third is called as a data governance, which talk about the manage internal and privacy governance data. And finally, we have a user guidance and communication. So when you're talking about the policy, when you're talking about the policy, this policy basically have a 4 dimension. This policy is basically have a 4 dimension. I repeat again, ethical guideline, data governance, alignment with the strategy objectives, and user guideline. So if you can see, strategic impact is a one thing and operational impact is a one thing. Okay. So question is how to create AI policy. So how many of you always get confused how to write AI policy? We have a 2 type of AI policy. One for the company who building a product, and one policy for the AI user. Is it clear? So it's up to you how you want to create a policy. So we have a 2 type of policy. One is called as a user focused AI policy. A policy talk about the usage guideline. Example, hey guys, never use ChatGPT in your production. Never do this, never do that. So this is called as a product-based AI policy or AI usage policy. I'm introducing the AI policy, which basically talk about, how to use AI. So that is called as a AI usage policy, which include the usage guideline. You explain about the transparency, privacy, data guideline, and all that. Can we incorporate user access policy, user things and all that? Both policies. I will tell Roy, Dada, just control. We'll discuss. Don't worry. Can we say acceptable user policy can include the AI guideline? Can we say acceptable use policy include the AI guideline? Yes. Why we want to make it complex? Then second policy is called as a company focus AI policy. Now let's take an example. You are a company who build AI products. Your company using AI for the entire business. For that, we have a company focus AI policy. So which one is bigger? AI policy, which is user focused, or AI policy, which is a company focus, which cover everything? So if company has given you task, create a home policies, will you create 2 separate policy or you create one policy which can cover user focus? So can we discuss one template? If it's everyone okay with that, we might extend. It's not part of webinar, but we can discuss. This is called as a AI policy. Okay, now listen, always remember one thing. We always start AI policy with company focus first. So it should have an introduction, overview, purpose, scope. Every policy start with the purpose and scope. Okay, so here we have a content. So here you can see the purpose of the policy is to establish the clear guideline for responsible development, deployment, and use of AI system. And this policy intended to ensure AI initiatives are ethically sound, secure, transparent. You can simply copy paste for any AI policy because this purpose talk about your AI principle of trustworthiness. Then where it's applied, this policy applied to all the employee, contractors, partners, and all that. Why we need this?
to set the stage for summarizing the document and establish the common understanding. I'm going to share this document in the LinkedIn very few times. Don't worry about that. Then we talk about the policy principle. Copy paste your OECD principle here: fairness, transparency, accountability, data governance, risk management, and all that. Why we need? Because ethical AI demonstrate will be done. Data governance demonstrate your data security and risk management. Then we come to the governance oversight. Always remember one thing: when you start AI governance in the company, we need one committee which is called as a AI governance committee. They are the committee of the senior management, board of directors, and everything. So they are responsible for approving the projects, overseeing the compliance, review the risk assessment team, and all that. So we need to demonstrate the responsibility, and then we demonstrate what are the roles we have in the AI. Because tomorrow they will ask now why they exist. That's the reason. Then we introduce, if you're doing AI development, then add the development section. Make sure you should use design and documentation. Testing need to be done, monitoring to be done. So you document that in a policy. Okay, then data handling, data privacy part, collecting data according to legal, storage, and regulations. If your company is not building AI, you can ignore this. If yes, you can add this. Then risk management is required. How you doing a risk assessment? Every AI must be risk assessment. So annually we have to do risk assessment, bring that in a policy. You don't need to have a separate AI risk policy. Okay. Your job is not to create a fear. Your job is to enable the business and define the risk assessment according to model evaluation. Then compliance auditing, how to respond the incidents. Example like there should be formal incident response plan must be in place for any AI issues. Like anytime AI generating any random output and all that, that is also incident. And then this is your AI usage policy, usage guidelines, permit, non-permit, regulatory, what kind of a data we can upload, guideline, do and don'ts. And then finally we have oversight, how to oversight, clearly AI side, policy, regulatory, and everything. That's it. And finally training and awareness. And we have a reporting metrics, how to report the metrics of AI and enforcement. And then finally we have approval. Policy need to be reviewed annually, okay? And it is created by the policy need to be reviewed annually, and policy will be created by the chief AI officer. Exceptions need to be assessed based on risk assessment and document. So this is your policy component: clear scope, okay, which define exactly which AI system, application, data process the policy apply. Okay, scope, okay, and purpose is basically why the policy exists. Okay. Okay, then data governance is there, and then we have a structure. So this is how we build the policy. Your policy, program, KPI, everything is part of the AI governance program. And you'll be surprised to know that my next webinar I'm doing on the enterprise AI risk management. If you're interested, let me know. We'll plan this session next month. How to do the enterprise risk management for AI, which include risk tolerance, model evaluations, and all that. Okay. So next part is called as the liabilities. Does it matter? Liability in the AI? Liability in the AI. Let's take an example. I introduce one AI and it is giving a wrong information. Am I liable? Hello. I introduce AI and it producing a wrong information. Am I liable? Yes. Yes. It's all about we don't have awareness. So liability in the AI refer to the legal responsibility. No, Sarika, that is why you are here in the session. We're going to discuss. So liability is not limited to only provider. Is it clear? So liability in the AI refer to the legal responsibility for harm or damage caused by the AI system. See, when we're talking about AI, it become more autonomous. Okay, and it is integrated in daily life. Agree? So who is responsible for harm? We need to bring that in a contract. And that is why we have a concept called AI liability. So what is this concept of AI liability? Let's discuss this. So we have a 4 type of liabilities in a AI. So we have a first called product liability. Okay, product liability is all about like we have a manufacturer, okay, suppliers, developer, okay, they are responsible for damage caused by the defective products. That is called as a product liability. Second is basically called as a tort. Tort liability mean which hold individual or organization accountable for causing the harm. That is called as a tort liability. So in the context of AI, tort liability apply when AI system cause harm due to the negligent design, training, and deployment. For example, if a company failed to properly test an AI system that lead to an accident, okay, it may be liable for the damages. Then we have a strict liability for the AI systems. Strict liability for AI system is it is applied when the risk of harm is inherently high. What do you think? Any example of strict liability we need in such kind of AI products, according to you? Example, drones, medical equipments. Do you demand that strict liability of AI systems? I repeat again, AI driven cars, AI medicines, AI healthcare. Does it demand strict liability? Yes, because that harm inherently will be high and it can impact the human. Is it clear? It's responsible for the harm caused. Or autonomous vehicles we have. Is it clear? And last is basically called as a negligence AI. Negligence AI is a part of the party. Example like developer, manufacturer, or deployer. Okay, they are held liable for that. If an AI system, let's take example, is a medical device and it is poorly trained and tested, these lead to the misdiagnosis or potential harm. So that come under the negligence. So sometimes it's a combination lead to strict liability also. Product liability mean product fail. Tort liability deal with the individual because of one individual has a problem. Strict liability for exclusive systems, and negligent liability is the outcome of product and tort. So we have a liabilities in the key areas. You can see for autonomous system, we have like self-driving cars, robotic surgeries, right? Which can make the decision without direct human involvement. Because if autonomous system cause harm, the question for who is at fault. AI in decision making, like hiring, credit scoring, and everything. AI in a healthcare, which is basically talk about diagnostic treatments and everything. Like in and last is basically data use and privacy, which is used in GDPR. Is there any difference? Is there any common similarities between the GDPR and data AI and all that? Yes, because in GDPR, one of the article called as an explanation of the data. So in GDPR, in the EU mandate, AI system processing personal data should be complied with the strict privacy law. And you need to have an explanation of the AI. So make sure we have to see that liability also. Now the point I'm going to cover is a very important point, which never be covered in any session because they know that if they cover, then it is easy for AI user to do the case. And that is called as a challenge with AI liability. Now listen carefully, okay? When we're talking about implementing AI, one of the most important thing called as the attribution of fault. You know attribution of fault? What is the meaning? Who is responsible? Okay, I'm using ChatGPT, which producing a wrong data. I put it on LinkedIn, which backfire. So I am responsible, right? But ChatGPT is also responsible. So attribution of fault is the biggest concern when you're setting up the liability. Okay, because here the concern is whether harm was caused by the error in the AI system or by the user. Understood? By the prompt. Second is called as the evolving AI technologies. Okay. So machine learning models are black box. They don't have a present of the data and there's no strong legal frameworks are there to control that. And third is cross jurisdiction. Incident happen in India, product develop in US. Is it clear? So what do you think out of following, which one is the biggest concern? Cross jurisdictional issues. Attribution fault we can bring on contract. Evolving AI technology can be managed, but cross jurisdiction issue is the biggest concern. So tomorrow when you opting for AI, what is the first preference? Local AI provider. So question is who can be held liable for the AI? The first is called as a AI developer. Okay. Second is called as a manufacturer. Third is called as a deployer and operator. You know deployer like business using AI. Okay. And AI system user, we as a end users. Is it clear? And third party suppliers, like example who providing us algorithm and training data. Is it necessary? Like, is it mandatory that every company who build AI, who are company who introducing AI, they build their own models? They can use a chat GPT AI model, right? So in that case, third party supplier will be accountable. Now, last part, we need to discuss about the category of law. So according to that, you can take a decision. See, one guy who's a developer and anyone who's basically integrated that there is a manufacturer. So now we have a category of law for AI. So example like we have a law for data privacy, which is called GDPR, CCPA, HIPAA. Why GDPR? So in GDPR, okay, in GDPR, one of the most important thing, one article we have, which is basically called as a right to explanation. Right to explanation. So when you're building a AI, okay, when you're building AI, you need to make sure you should comply with GDPR, CCPA, HIPAA. Those who dropping the session, please make sure you fill the feedback section. Can you share the feedback link? So they get a participation certificate. Second is basically we have a law for the intellectual property. Is it clear? Like example, when you're using AI and all that, intentionally or non-intentionally, you're uploading a data which lead to the copyright law, using someone else model which is called patent law, and you uploading some kind of a trade secret. Trade secret is basically like AI algorithm model which can be protected as a trade secret. So you're using someone's trade secret. And then we have a law which is basically for the liability and accountability. Example like, we establish who is responsible for AI product if AI product caused the damage. Okay, let's say example, there's a AV which caused accident due to the malfunction. Is it clear? That come under product liability, negligence, and strict liability. So law category here is data privacy law, intellectual property law, and liability law. But is it limited to only this? No. We have another one which is called anti-discrimination. Is it important? Here we need to ensure AI system do not discriminate. If we do that as per the anti-discrimination and equal right law, they can take a decision. There is a law called as a equal employment opportunity, EEO. I repeat, EEO. Have you heard of EEO? EEO, employment opportunity law. In many there's a company you use AI, okay, for a screen job application. If the AI model is trained on a biased data, you can file a case as per the Equal Employment Opportunity Law, EEO we called. There is another law called as a Fair Lending Law. It is called as a AI-driven credit scoring system, which ensure they do not discriminate against the specific groups for which need to be processed as per the Fair Lending Law. US also seeking to address the AI-related discriminations. In India we have one law, Consumer Protection Act, that is come under the Anti-Discrimination Equal Right Law. Is it clear? Then we have AI specific regulations, and we also creating our own custom contract when you're dealing with the developer and everything. So now question is how to align stakeholder to build the AI governance. Last topic, okay? Last topic. So in this section, we're going to discuss about stakeholder management. So stakeholder management is the important component. Without understanding a stakeholder management, we cannot able to build the proper governance. Now, how to identify stakeholder? Based on these four principles: power, legitimacy, urgency, and harm. How many of you heard this first time? When you identifying the stakeholder, okay, when you're talking about the stakeholder, we basically define the stakeholder based on three principles: power, legitimacy, urgency, and harm. Let me explain that. So first is basically called as a power. Power basically mean the extent to which the stakeholder can impose their will on the project. So according to you, who have a more power? When you're building an AI and all that, who has a more power? Senior management. Senior management. Okay. Second is called as a legitimacy. Legitimacy mean when stakeholder enjoy socially constructed standing shared by the parties. Example, we evaluate the nature of the contractual relationship between the parties to determine if an individual, organization, societal agreements are exist. Okay, so they are more about society thoughts and all that. So that is basically called as a legitimacy. Third is called as the urgency. Urgency is assessed when stakeholder claim or relationship call for immediate attention, like business team. And last is basically called as a harm. Harm evaluate if the stakeholder would be harmed by the implementation. So when you building a AI, consider these four factors. Is it clear? These are the attributes defined for identifying stakeholders and non-stakeholders. Is it clear? That is why overall this divide into this category. Second last topic, okay? So your AI stakeholders are divided into five parts. Individual society. Any example of individual society? Who are the individual in society? Court, regulators, independent evaluators. Can we say these are the stakeholders, which is part of individual society? Then the developing organization. Any example developing organization? Entrepreneur, executive management, legal ethical functions, project funder, data controller. Then we have a funding entity. Funding entity is the project owner, product owner. Performing entities mean who is the performing entity? The team or group executing the AI development process. And like we are using the predefined AI product called as an operating organization. So we optimize the stakeholder based on this category. So what is the process is that just need your next 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes. The process is very simple. How to align AI with the stakeholders. Okay, so first step is identify stakeholders. So we already identify we have an internal stakeholder and we have external stakeholders. Is it clear? Second is understand the stakeholder interest. Okay, example, executive want AI to be drive revenue. Legal team want to prioritize the compliance. Customer want expected fare and developer want a clarity. Different stakeholder has a different expectation. Legal team want to prioritize the compliance. Customer want a expected fare. Developer need a clarity. So how can we bring everyone on the same page? Can we say we use survey, interview? Can we do survey, interview, and all that to get every point in a one particular things? And that basically helped me define the AI governance objective. Okay, I need a transparency, I need ethical, I want risk management and all that. So here, the first step is we create an AI policy, then we set up the data privacy policy, then we set up the bias detection protocols, and then we define the metrics. And then we create an overall framework. That is the overall process we have. So identify the feasibility, start the collecting data. That's another important thing. Develop the model, then we deploy the model, then we monitor, and finally we have a decommissioning and retirement. This is the overall process of AI function we have. If you have a 5 more minutes, we can deep dive into each step. If everyone okay with that, can we? 5 minutes, let's go by. So first is basically called as a ideation and feasibility. Here, what happened is this is the early stage. And in this particular stage, we identify stakeholders, we understand the stakeholder expectation, and more important, we define the objectives. Is it clear? And best practice, we say that we map the stakeholder requirement into the roles, influence, and expectations. Influence, we discuss na urgency, harm, and all that. Second step, based on the expectation, we collect the data. Will you involve the DPO here in the data collection process? So here we ensure the data should be collected as per GDPR, CCPA, inventory the data, and do the data cleansing and everything. So best practice data audit. Then we develop the model. Okay, in this particular stage, we design, train, and test the AI model. And then we have a model deployment. Before we deploy model in the production, do we need to test? We need to look for the regulations. We need to train end users. And more important, we need to align the stakeholders here. So we have a feedback loop. And then we have a monitoring and maintenance. Monitoring and maintenance basically mean we collaborate with the technical team, involve the metrics, KPI, and everything. And according to that, we decommission the requirement. So this is all from my side.